Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our live video podcast. It's your weekly dose of coffee, dogs, and curiosities. I'm your host, Chris Perandi, the stunt dog guy. Today, we're going to drink a little coffee while we watch a live doggy dancing performance with Kara and her dog, Kid. Then we're going to show you how to teach your dog to do a rebound off your body. And of course, we're going to discuss the curiosity of the day, which is how safe is doing stunts with your dog. Now, if you're watching right now, I hope you've already subscribed to our channel. Please leave us a comment. Let us know you're here and where you're watching from. Because see, unfortunately, while I'm live, I can't tell that you're actually watching unless you send us a comment. So let me know you're here. Now, as you all know, I do love collecting coffee mugs. And today I'm using one of my favorite mugs from Hawaii. Yes, this one's from our last vacation trip from last December in Hawaii. I think I woke up this morning dreaming of going to the beach. I got my beach shirt on. This one's also from Hawaii, from Maui, where we went. We had a wonderful vacation. So anyway, guys, I do have a few photos I wanted to share of our trip to Hawaii today. I thought that'd be kind of fun to show off a few photos. It is absolutely beautiful out there. We want to inspire you guys, of course, to take a vacation when you can next, because, man, it is muchly deserved. I feel like I've been on an extended vacation with this whole pandemic madness, but yeah, we had a wonderful time. That's the banyan tree that we got a chance to see. Beautiful out there. And I just woke up wishing that we could go to the beach. Unfortunately, all the beaches are still closed here in California. I don't know if they're open in Hawaii or not, but we sure are missing it for sure. So anyway, thanks for signing in with us today, guys. We're going to go live here with Brian and Kara from Indianapolis. So everyone say hi to Brian and Kara.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
What's going on, guys? How you doing today?
Actually, I'm kind of irritated right out the gate because you're showing pictures of Hawaii and vacation, and like, what a jerk.
I know. I'm just rubbing it in is what I'm doing, man. I'm rubbing it in. But
yeah, right in there.
Yeah, you guys need to plan a vacation at some point to Hawaii, Maui. We've been a few times now, and it's to die for, man. It's so relaxing. Love it. Pick this coffee mug up. As you know, I collect coffee mugs. I got my Hawaii mug. Kind of hard to see, but it does say Hawaii right over here. And got my Dog Beach t-shirt on too, to kind of get everyone in the mode. It's almost time to get outdoors. I'm ready.
Well, you got a nice collection of coffee mugs, and I have a nice collection of Monster energy drink cans. That's where
really is that your drink of choice?
That is my drink of choice. Hot, cold, it doesn't matter. It's this is my cup of coffee, and it makes me very happy. Monster send me free stuff. Trying.
Yeah, hey, we got to keep trying, because I love Monster energy drinks as well. They're one of my favorites, especially the white one. The white one's delicious.
Yeah, I think we started drinking these. Actually, I think I started drinking these that summer working with you, because you'd bring them in. It was the light blue one, which isn't this is my favorite one, but yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Flies, right?
What's that?
How time flies, right?
Yes, it does. So who we got watching today? We got some people watching right now. We got Stephanie Mercado. That's my sister-in-law, should I say? And she's saying hi to everybody. We got Sammy with us today. Charlotte McElroy is watching again. Another big fan. Thanks, Charlotte. Good to see you again. Diana Freeman's here from Missouri.
We're from Missouri.
Yay! I know you guys are from the Branson area. Well, Brian is from Branson. You're from what, Kansas City, Kara?
Yeah.
Yeah, Branson base for us.
We got Stunt Dog Academy. I was looking over at Sue because that popped up. Hey, Chris, I'll stick around for as long as I can.
Okay, good to know.
I don't know who posted that. Awesome. Phoenix, we're actually live on our Stunt Dog Academy channel for the first time today. Our sister-in-law, Jessica Jones, is here. Tammy Miller from Phoenix. Charlotte saying she's spending the day at the beach. That's awesome. I wish I could be on the beach. They're in the UK, so their beaches sound like they're open. Steve is with us. What's up, Steve? And we have Paula Arnie saying hi. Awesome, guys. Yeah, Mother's Day is this Sunday. I hope you guys are all ready for Mother's Day.
As best we can be.
Yeah, kind of hard with that distance. You're not going to be home. Well, you guys got some wind there today, it looks like. Did the wind just blew your camera down, it sounded like.
Yes, it did. We're using state-of-the-art camera equipment here at the Indianapolis Zoo for our i.e., we have a iPhone on top of a box.
That's all right. Hey, no worries. You got to brave the weather. And I thank you guys for joining us on our podcast again and being a co-host of this channel. So you're going to have a performance today, right, Kara, for us? It's
Yes.
going to be, you're going to do some doggy dancing, right?
Yes.
And what dog are you going to doggy dance with? Is he with you right now?
Yeah, here he comes.
Kiddo. Hi. This is Kid. K-I-D.
Kid is cute as ever. He's
Now,
adorable. Tell us about Kid.
Kid, he's about to turn 4 years old. I actually got him from a private adoption when he was just 8 weeks old. And he was kind of a stud. He was like a big bump on a log, but he loved, what do you see?
What is it?
He loved treats and he was super intelligent. So I just started teaching him a bunch of tricks. And then, you know, around 6 months to a year, his border collie kicked in. And now he loves toys and he loves to play and he's super athletic and fast.
I love Kid too. It's like she said, he was a dud at first, but he really blossomed well. And it's a joke that I tell in the show, but it's actually true. When he was a puppy, I wanted to name him Gene Simmons. He's black and white.
Right.
He's got an okay singing voice, but most importantly, a massive tongue that puts slobber all over the place. I've been slimed numerous times, but she got to name him, so Kid is what we got.
I love it. He's adorable. He's 3 years old. He's a border collie mix, and super smart, loving, loves food and treats, and wasn't that toy motivated? You were telling me when you first got him as a puppy, wasn't really into toys.
No, I would throw a toy and he wouldn't even care to chase it or look at it or anything. Didn't play tug, didn't like squeaky. He literally could care less. But
so what do you think? What changed in him? Or was there some magic that you did that helped him break out of that?
I think it was just maturity, you know. He's a mix, so he's not all border collie, so, you know, not totally pre-programmed. But I think it was just maturity.
Right.
And then also he probably was seeing all the other dogs, you know, playing fetch and whatnot and realized like, oh, this is a really fun game.
Right. Oh,
I had the same thing happen with Spice too. At about 1.5 years, you know, she was not interested at all at a younger age, but then having her out here and watching all the dogs playing, eventually she got interested and invested in it too. I think the same thing happened with Kid.
Right.
And now he's giving several of our key show dogs a run for their money to be the star because he wants to be the star, don't you, Kid?
Well, Kara's going to perform a live performance here in just a second, everybody. She's going to do a doggy dancing routine. So you want to go and get set up for that, Kara? I would love to see what you and Kid have in store for us today. Of course,
we're good to go.
What's that?
We're good to go. Just give us a second to get her set up here.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and get set up. And can't wait to see Kid do a little doggy dancing for us today. That's super awesome. Basically, doggy dancing is a routine choreographed to music, doing a lot of fun, fancy tricks and some stunts as well. So I'm excited to see what Kid's going to do for us. Kid is actually a big star performer at the Indianapolis Zoo and also performed for the last couple of years at the State Fair of Texas. And is a big star in our Stunt Dog production shows, our All-Star Stunt Dog show. And yeah, Brian.
Yes, I'm still here. We're about ready to go. No.
Yeah, no problem.
To play off what you were saying, he's really turned it on. So Kara's gonna get this track going, and we are ready to roll.
All right, guys. I'm gonna put you on the big screen so everyone can see better. Nope, can't turn it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I did. That's great.
Here he goes. Come on, guys, watching. If you like Kid, let's see some love. Make some comments for this guy.
Yeah, what do you guys think of Kid right there? Nice. Styling.
Yeah, there's some love for this guy.
You guys are getting a private show today with Kara and Brian live at the Indianapolis Zoo.
Yeah, let's hear it for him.
Nice job, guys. Lots of comments came in saying super talented. They love it.
There we go. So give us
Awesome.
just a second to get ourselves back in position, all right?
Yeah, you got it, guys. Well, awesome. That is really cool. Of course, we want to encourage you guys to go home and or work with your dog. Spend more time with them. The more time you spend with them, the more you increase the bond that you have with your dog, and it helps prevent all those unwanted behavior problems. I say it pretty much every week, but it is so true that the more time you spend with your dog, obviously, the more tired out that they are. So they tend to be better behaved dogs when you do spend time with them. So great job, Kara. That was awesome. How long did it take you to put that routine together? Tell us what kind of went into that.
Oh, yes. So again, since he wasn't motivated by toys at all, we just focused on his treat training because being a border collie mix, he still had a lot of energy. So I worked a lot on just teaching him as a puppy, 3-4 months old, some of the basic ground level tricks, similar like what Abby did in her last podcast with her puppy Rufio. So I worked on all of the tricks individually first, making sure he understood them, he was safe doing them, and then slowly over time I added them. It was, he had to be a little bit older to learn some of the hard, complex tricks like standing on his hind, but all in all, I would say it probably took, around 2 years just to really get all of the tricks and for him to understand them and put them all together. And he's still learning.
Yeah, well, he's doing a fantastic job. That was awesome. Well done. Excellent. So, of course, we want to give back to our audience today. And each week we always do a little training segment. And Kara has put together an awesome training segment on how to teach your dog to do a rebound. So I think maybe we should share that. Kara, are you ready to share that? Do you have anything you'd like to say about it before I do bring it up on the air?
No, but the rebound's super fun. I really enjoy teaching it. And you kid does a great job.
One of my dogs is getting excited about it. Actually, he's getting excited about his bone. I don't know if you can hear him back there. That's little Leo.
I did. I heard a little grumble.
Yeah. He's like, get away from my bone. Get away from my bone. All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to go and play that now. Here you go. Check it out.
How to teach a rebound in 60 seconds or less. Ideally, your dog will already know how to jump in your arms. This will make things much easier. Throughout the training, you'll be working in an open V-type pattern where your dog will enter in one side and exit the other. Be sure to stay consistent. You'll start by having your dog jump in your lap, reward them, and toss a treat away to encourage them to push off your body. Next, you can go to a treat where your dog jumps in your lap and then you toss the treat away, encouraging them to push off. Once your dog understands the concept, you can stand up and give a slight bend of the knee. Encourage your dog to jump up and push off your body following the treat. Practice this until your dog is comfortable with the behavior without needing the treat to be thrown. Your dog will jump up, push off your body, and then be rewarded. Be sure to practice and keep things safe for your dog's height, size, and weight.
All right.
That was awesome. Great job, guys. Really enjoyed that. That was a great way to teach it, too. I've never taught it that way, actually. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no, I was just saying we've been having fun doing these little 60-second training clips because we want to, again, like you keep talking about, we want to encourage people to get off the phone, get off the tablet, get outside and play with your dog for a little bit. And hopefully these are some fun little things that people can find that won't take up a whole lot of their time and are pretty user-friendly and easy to pick up just to play with your dog and have fun.
That's what it's all about. I liked how you were using that method, though, Kara. I'm going to bring up this here in just a second. I want to show a couple of photos that you sent in of Kid. We'll talk about Kid just for a minute. But when I train the rebound, I actually never use treats. But again, I've been kind of spoiled with some very high drive dogs that are just so toy motivated. I just use toys or Frisbees or their favorite flying disc to motivate them to bounce off. Because I basically, once I train the knee vault or any type of vault, they're used to putting pressure on the body and bouncing off. So I just basically take that behavior and turn it into a rebound is what I've done. But for dogs that are a little less driven or just, a younger dog, I think that's a great way to train. That's another way of getting your dog to do it. And we always try to stress that there's not one way is the highway when it comes to dog training, that there's multiple paths to victory. That's something that we go over in our book and that we're very proud of, that there's multiple different ways to get a dog to do something. And sometimes you got to work with each dog's ability and talent.
Yeah, and we talked about that a couple weeks ago also, and I've been seeing it with being with Kara with so many different types of dogs. They all learn in different ways. When we're talking about pork chop being kind of a dope, it's just figuring out what works for the dog. So yeah, we stand by that comment as well, that there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, and there is. Yeah, so I mean, we have some photos to share. I forgot to share it when you were talking about Kid at the beginning, so I do want to put those up because I think they're absolutely adorable. And this was Kid, that the dog that you just saw do that doggy dance routine and just got a chance to meet on the screen. This was Kid as a puppy, I assume. How old was Kid right here?
I mean, he was about 8 or 9 weeks old.
It's adorable.
I just gotten him. That's maybe like 3 months old. He was a ornery little puppy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I saw this picture. I don't know if it's the angle or if he just looks like a bobblehead. His head looks bigger than it should for his body.
A little bit of cattle dog in him is coming out there. You can see that massive.
Yeah, and the ears. His body hasn't grown into the ears yet. It's like the ears were ahead of the game.
Yes.
Is his ears still that big or do they fit his body more or his head more proportionally now?
That photo's by Sarah Carson, and I love it because it's perfect.
Oh, it's beautiful. Love it. That one looks like Jazz. That one looks like my dog Jazz. That photo reminds me of my dog Jumpin' Jazz, my first jump roping dog.
He got his puppuccino.
Yeah, it was awesome. Loving it.
Yep.
He's and his birthday's coming up, right? Just another month.
This was last year at here at the Indy Zoo. Kid also does high jump, which is pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Aside from his doggy dancing, he's a really skilled high jumper.
Yeah, Kara actually one day just screwing around, she was like, "Let's give Kid a try on high jump," and I mean, it took him like 3 warm-up jumps, and then he was hitting over 50 inches. Like it just came really naturally to him. He's a great dog.
Awesome.
Caboodle, hey, come up here. But not as good as this old lady right here. Oh.
Who's this?
This is Caboodle. She was on a couple weeks ago.
She was on our very first.
Oh yeah, she's sweet.
Yes, our little cattle dog. But we've become best buds.
How old is she? She's older, right?
What's that?
How old?
She's older, right? How old is she again?
She's 8. She's about to turn 9 this year.
She's still performing though. She's still going strong.
She is. She does a lot in the show still, actually. As long as she's wanting and motivated to do so, she can play as long as she wants.
Yeah, she does the doggy dancing, and now Kid's kind of the pinch hitter for her. He fills in for her so they can alternate back and forth. But they both have similar stuff, but they present it very differently. So it's kind of fun watching both of them and the way that they interpret the moves and such.
They each have their own style and unique moves to showcase, and that's great, man. I love seeing that.
Classy lady and a dopey dude.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Right.
So, all right, guys, why don't we get to today's curiosity? I think we're ready. It's basically, is it safe? How safe is doing stunts with your dog? Okay, and so we're going to discuss that today, and I want to chime in too. Let us know your thoughts on that question and that curiosity, and we also have some photos to share along with this discussion today as well. So I'm going to bring up some photos right now as we discuss, and I'll let you go ahead and start. Maybe we'll start with Kara, and then maybe move to Brian, and then I'll chime in.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually get asked this all the time when we're doing some of the high impact or pretty difficult or challenging tricks, stunts, and behaviors. Is it safe? Does it hurt the dog's hips? And I think there's absolutely a unsafe way of doing what we do, but if it's done in a proper way, then it's completely safe. For us, we only go based off the dog's physical and mental capabilities. So if it's something that they aren't capable of doing or don't want to do, then they just don't. So we make things as safe as possible, making sure that their landings are square and safe. They land on all 4 paws as possible, and try not to push their limits and put them in harm's way, of course.
Sure, absolutely. That's a great answer. That is a great answer. And I think it's something that people really should know more about because safety is always my number one priority. And I know it is with everybody on our team, including you guys. I've seen you in action and seen how you handle your dogs. And we all want what's best for the dog, especially when it comes to surfaces, and that's what I'll touch on here in a minute. But having basically a safe performance surface is definitely key. But what do you think, Brian? What's your thought on this topic?
So yeah, my thought was, again, we get asked a lot, is this hard on the dogs? We're just very lucky and blessed that we do have quite a few dogs, and we're able to alternate dogs through and such. And one thing that I want to hit on that Kara had said is if the dog doesn't want to do something, we don't make them do that. And I'm very firm on that. And sometimes, though, you don't really know unless you know the dog if it doesn't want to do something, because we're at a point now where, and especially for me, I can tell when the dog's just not into it. He's like, nope, not having this today.
Right.
Little man has a tendency to kind of flip you the bird. He'll be like, I'm not into this today, buddy. And
he's a Chihuahua, understandably
yes.
so prerequisite Chihuahua.
Yes. And so, but the things that we do is we take so many precautions to make sure that we're doing it in an accurate, safe way, making sure that the environment is safe, that they're landings, because the high jump is the one that we get asked a lot about, because I do the high jump with Fox pretty regularly, and they're like, is this hurting him? I mean, he's doing it so many times a day. Well, that's not completely accurate. We're right. Rotating the dog, not doing it solo every time of the day. And also, he's built for it. Like, that dog was born to jump. And
right. Yeah, some dogs just have that natural, innate talent that it just, like, you can't keep them down. Like, my dog Ferrari was like that. Like, she would jump so high, and it would look like, man, that's way too high. But I would try to bring her down. I would try to throw the disc lower, but she would just grab it and just keep going. It was like, and here she is, 13 years old, still going strong, still jumping probably higher than some of my younger dogs at 13, almost 14. She'll be 14 this October. So it's insane. Every dog's got their own capability, and they're like little athletes, like some might retire sooner than others. And you just got to work with each dog's really their ability and just keep a close eye and watch them.
And that's a good point. You mentioned they're athletes.
Yes.
Our dogs, all of our dogs, they are athletes because we are conditioning them, making sure they're in peak health. They eat, premium dog food and the most, best supplements on the market. So our dogs are more physically capable than, if you were to just take, your regular pet dog at home that sleeps 23 hours a day and then ask them to jump over a giant bar. It's different. They are athletes. And that's something I think a lot of people don't think about when they see the dogs doing these skills, is that they're conditioned mentally and physically to do them.
And like what you were saying, Chris, though, you've got a much older dog, but through proper diet and exercise and maintaining that, you can have a 13-year-old dog come out and perform just as well as a 3 or 4-year-old dog.
Yeah, and you just got to monitor each dog individually, and best for that dog is what I tell people. And I think they're safe if you're doing it in the right way, the right manner, and on the right performance surface too. I mean, if you're and depending on what you're doing, you don't want to overdo it either. Like, say, for example, if I'm teaching a dog to do a high jump, the last thing we want to do is overdo that high jump. You do it only so many times. You don't want to burn the dog out, not just for their mental reasons, but also for their physical reasons. As they get older, and their longevity, their health, and their well-being over time can be at jeopardy if you push your dog too much. And I've seen a lot of trainers out there that do that, and then they have dogs that they possibly can't walk as they get older, or have major issues. So you just got to be careful and cautious and keep those training sessions. That's always try to inspire people, encourage people, just keep those sessions short, do shorter sessions, because, at the end of the day, the dog's going to get it or they're not, so don't push them, because you're going to have a happier performing dog and a happier dog just in general by not pushing them and just making it fun for the dog. And when they stop having fun, that's when you start seeing dogs cower. That's when you start seeing tails tuck. That's when you start seeing dogs leave the field.
And like what you were, we showed Mickey last week, that dog, he come out here and he would just be going as hard as he can nonstop. But we have to recognize, he's an older dog, and we got to cater what we're doing to him to make sure that he's safe. Because he would be out here showing kid how it's done if he could, but we got to make sure for him. Absolutely. He's got it in his heart, but his body is just not there anymore.
So
little man.
There's little man doing an awesome stunt. So the key is, guys, I think, is to give your dogs, healthy dog food for one. I think that certainly helps, and supplements for two. I don't know if you guys give glucosamine to your dogs, but we do vitamins and glucosamine supplements. But that could only help so much, right? I mean, the vitamins and the supplements. The other part is us being responsible pet owners and trainers, and performing with our dogs and surfaces that don't injure them. So when we get to a new environment, make sure there's no potholes, make sure there's no glass embedded down in the grass. I mean, over the years, the injuries that I've had have been because of things like that, then not so much the dog's doing a backflip or doing a stunt. Obviously we try to make them to land, in a safe manner every time. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but as long as the performance area is safe, the dog typically, I've never seen dogs get hurt. It's typically due to, an unforeseen circumstance with the environment. You're running into a pole or a tree or possibly, landing wrong on a hard surface or a pothole or something like that. So be safe when scour the field before you get out there. Check the area that you're working on. Make sure that it's safe for your dogs. Make sure it's safe for you to be running around. My first injury that still haunts me now, I have a partially torn ACL that I've dealt with for over 20 years. And it was with performing with my dog on a bad performance surface. And I basically twisted my knee because of it. And, God forbid at the time my dog didn't get hurt, but the key is be diligent of the areas that you're working in. I mean, because the environment can be your worst enemy.
It can, but you know what? Sometimes you can do the best job that you can to make sure everything's safe, and just weird, random things happen. I mean, I had my dog Lexus. She was staying at my brother's, and he let her outside. She went down the deck, down the steps, took one quick pass in the yard, and came back and had blown her knee out. And it's like, she didn't do anything weird. It's just sometimes just fluke things happen. We got to be prepared for that. I mean, we had it one time with one of the dogs with you in Texas. She jumped to catch a Frisbee and pinched a nerve. She was 100% fine and had her all checked out. But yeah, just random little things can happen.
I remember.
Yeah. And what was so horrible about that was the very first time I was going out to do the relay with Pikachu. That was the dog that got hurt. And so she caught it. And I mean, I went through like 7 stages of grief. I thought it was my fault and all this. And it was just an accident. I mean, you were there for it, Chris. It was a crazy thing. She was totally fine, but that's just just putting it in perspective.
Right.
Things happen.
Sure.
Yeah. And another thing that we do, kind of just going like, I guess, above and beyond, is I like to, especially the dogs where I don't know where they come from, I like to get their hips x-rayed and actually certified. Just because with them, doing these things, especially walking on their hinds all the time, I just know peace of mind that the dog is physically, by a board certified vet, healthy, because I know several of my dogs have performed with an injury on accident. I noticed, hey, they're looking a little funny, and you notice, well, they worked through it because they're so motivated. So
right. I know sometimes they don't show that pain. They just don't show it sometimes, until after the fact. When in the heat of the moment, you might not see something, and then afterwards you're like, wait a second, is that a little limp? I mean, and maybe most people wouldn't notice it, but we are so in tune with our dogs. We care about them so much. We know how they should walk. We know how they should hold their head, and we know what it should look like. And we can see things that are off that majority of people can't. But just because somebody else can't see it doesn't mean that there's not an issue. And you always got to be prepared for that. And that's why having more dogs is good, because then you can throw them in positions, or you just have to restructure things sometimes. And you got to do what's best for the dog and the safety of your dog.
Yeah, the only other thing I will say is there is unsafe way to do anything. I mean, there's an unsafe way to walk your dog, if it's too hot and the pavement burns their pads. I mean, there's an unsafe way to do literally anything and everything out there.
Sure.
Performing any of the stunts at home, you're training you're new. I highly recommend, find a mentor, find a club, make sure that you're doing these in a safe manner where you won't injure the dog and your dog will have fun.
Yes. Take one step at a time.
Get blamed for somebody's dog getting hurt. She's like, I don't know, I said be with a professional.
Yeah, definitely. And it's always good to do that and get involved in your local clubs. There's clubs out there from frisbee dogging to agility to dock diving, you name it. Talk to the pros first, talk to those that have done it for years, get their advice, get their suggestions, and take it to heart. And that way you don't injure your dog or have any issues down the road. And as we move along with this podcast, I think this discussion, we might be continuing it. I'm thinking maybe next Thursday we can talk about supplements. In fact, Charlotte was asking, and I don't want to answer that right now, because I think that'd be a great topic for us for next week. Do we use a certain brand of supplements? And I think the question could be is, for the curiosity of next week is, do you give your dog supplements? And if so, what kind? I think let's talk about that next Thursday. I think that's a great idea, Charlotte. And I think that'd be something that we'd all be interested in. What's that?
So in other words, you're taking that information and you're folding it up and putting it in your pocket for later.
For next Thursday, right down here in the pocket.
Come back and watch the show. That's how how you're doing this now.
Exactly. And again, we'd like to thank all those for joining us today. Again, thanks for the comments, guys. It's super awesome to have you guys involved. And again, if you have any topics that you'd like to hear us discuss, any curiosities you have, ask us. You know, maybe we'll put it on the list and we'll discuss it one week. Again, we're going live twice a week. We go live on Thursdays and Sundays at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern time. We're actually streaming live on a few different pages right now. My Stunt Dog Academy page locally here in French Camp, California, where I'm from. I'm also streaming live on Stunt Dog Show Productions and, of course, on our Coffee, Dogs, and Curiosities live podcast page and on YouTube. So thanks for signing in, guys. Again, it's been an awesome time being with you. And joining us today again was Brian and Kara. So any last thing you'd like to leave today with Brian and Kara? Otherwise, we will look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. We'll talk about supplements and see another live performance.
Okay.
All right, guys. Again, thank you everybody for showing up. We appreciate it. We do this for you guys. Trust me, we do it for you.
Yeah, we sure do. That's it. Amen. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you again we're actually going live Sunday with Abby Klein. So mark your calendar, 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern with Abby Klein, and then we'll see Brian and Kara next Thursday again. So we'll see you guys next Thursday. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Bye,
check
everybody.
out Abby. He's a character. See
Yes,
you
he
guys.
is.